Hey, one of the questions that we get asked all the time by our clients when we're helping them create financial projections is, how do I come up with reasonable estimates of the number of customers my business is going to attract? Once I open, how many customers are going to come in the door? And this is a really hard assumption because it's like one of the very most important assumptions. It's also kind of impossible to know for sure until you just open. You just don't know. And so this can be a real challenge when you're trying to create a set of financial projections. One of the most important assumptions is also one of the hardest to estimate. So we are always trying to find data sources that can be helpful in this process. And today I'm going to show you a tool that you should be able to use for free called Placer.ai. And what this software does is it gives some foot traffic or customer traffic estimates for specific addresses. So whether you are opening a coffee shop or a restaurant or a boutique or a doctor's office or a dental clinic, really anything that has customers coming to your physical location, and you want to have some understanding of how many customers are coming to other similar businesses to give you some insight into how many you can expect to come to your location. That's what we're going to be able to see with this data. So with that, let me go ahead and dive into how this tool works. But first, just a little bit of background on me. My name's Adam Huxema. I'm the co-founder of Projection Hub, where we help our clients create financial projections for BA loans, for potential investors. And before starting Projection Hub, I was a SBA lender for about a decade. So come to this process with kind of the SBA hat and trying to help understand, hey, what's an SBA lender going to be looking for in a set of projections? And we're always trying to do our best to help back up our assumptions with data. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about here today. So let's go ahead and dive into how this works. Okay, so you can come to, it's just Placer.ai, and you can type in, a location address, and you'll be able to pull up a location. So I already had one pulled up here for a Starbucks, and this particular Starbucks in Georgia has 85,000 visitors per month, or 85,000 visits from 40,400 unique visitors. So that already gives you some great information, because in our coffee shop financial model, and like in our restaurant financial model, and a lot of our financial models ask how often, there's an assumption for how often will a customer come to the store. So if you have kind of regular customers, you need to know, are they going to come every week? Are they going to come once a month, twice a month? What does that look like? So you can already see here, on average, Starbucks customers are coming 2.1 times per month. So you're also able to see some additional data here that I think is really useful. And maybe this isn't all that useful. This is at least interesting though. This shows where they came from prior to going to Starbucks and then where they go to after. So I think this is always funny. You go to Starbucks and then you end up at Chick-fil-A, or you go to Wendy's first and then you end up at Starbucks. So you can kind of see people's trends, but a lot of it, from home to Starbucks, from Starbucks to home or to work. But this is probably more important. You can see the busiest times during the day. So the busiest times during the day, and also the busiest days of the week. And then the visit duration. So how long are those visitors there? This is really useful if you're starting a restaurant, for example, that average stay. In all of our restaurant financial model templates, which we'll link to those in the description of the video below, so you can access, you can see we've got about 100 different industry specific templates. So I'll put a link to that. But one of the assumptions that we ask in there is, if you've got 50 seats in your restaurant, then your capacity is going to be based on how long people stay. If people stay for 30 minutes, you have a certain capacity. If people stay for an hour, you have half as much capacity. You can turn your tables half as often, right? So that average stay is actually really important for understanding the capacity of your restaurant. And so what's cool about this tool is, there is some data that is hidden, blurred out. You have to upgrade to unlock, or pay for the pay for the report. Now, I will say that if you do try to click this purchase right now, at least, you can't just buy a one-off. It seems like this is more of an enterprise tool, but they do give, this data that I'm seeing. I just put in an address and it was free. So I'm even though I'm not getting all the data they have, still getting a lot of really useful data from a projection standpoint for free. So yeah, I'll put a link to this in the description of the video below, but it's just Placer.ai. And I think hopefully you'll be able to look up, maybe competitors' addresses or similar businesses and get an idea of how many customers are they getting per month, and then you can utilize that to make sure your projections are reasonable. And then when your lender asks you, how do you come up with these projections? You've got a good answer. So that's the hope here. If you have any questions about this, leave me a comment in the comment section of the video below, or reach out to us at support@projectionhub.com. Thanks.